Too much. All right, guys. So we are back live. I am going to check out Facebook real quick. I'm crossing my fingers here. This is gonna work, but if not, guys, we're gonna just stay live. So, dude, I don't see nothing. That sucks. Most relevant, newest activity. Yeah, I don't see anything on Facebook. Nothing, man. No live streams, no nothing. Yeah, it's frustrating. I just kind of wasted time doing that, but we'll see after the fact. I'll have to play with it. I'm not sure what's going on with Facebook. Facebook's being weird.
It says you're live, by the way, too.
Yeah, I know. That's what I told everybody. We're just going to have to figure it out.
Yeah.
You see it? You see it, George? I don't see it. Somebody said you're on Facebook. Somebody said you're on it. Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, for some reason I don't see.
It says Steven Nash. There we go. Steven. Okay, there we go. Fuck.
So I see. So it's weird. I see it on one of the pages, but not the other. So now, but we have two Facebook pages, but whatever. It's on one of them. That's cool. All right, I'm not sure, guys. We had to
we'll figure something out with that one.
I had to reconnect it, and then I had to do an authorization. I'm not sure why it kicked us out, unauthorized us. We had been authorized ever since we started with StreamYard, but
very weird.
Looks like we're good. We're on YouTube and Facebook now, and essentially that opens up more people. So appreciate you guys. We already played the intro in the last live stream, which we were only live for like 10 minutes. So thank you guys for bearing with us. I see there's a good amount of people in here.
About 50 minutes.
Can you guys hear me, by the way? You can, yeah. So I have my mic down there, but just brought it back up now. You should probably hear me a little bit more clear. All right, guys. So if you guys saw the promotion, what we're talking about now that we're back on schedule, we are talking about I'm actually going to comment for you guys too. We're talking about the Philadelphia Eagles and the Philadelphia 76ers. I am going to actually post something for you guys too. It's like a little thing. So guys, if you ever want to comment and you want your picture to show up, I figured out how to do it for Facebook. Go to what I'm posting here, streamyard.com/Facebook. This if you go there, it'll actually won't just say Facebook user. It'll actually, and you link your profile, it'll actually put your face and your name to your thing, so we can actually see on our end who's commenting. So, guys, I just want to say thank you for joining in tonight. As we were saying, Philadelphia Eagles right now, crazy 8-1. If you actually look back at our August video, I actually rewatched some of our predictions there. The majority of us had us at 8-1 or 9-0 going into the bye, so we were pretty spot on. None of us had us losing to the Jets, though. If I'm being honest, I mean, personally, I thought we were going to lose to the Dolphins. I thought that was the game we would drop. But we actually dropped the Jets, and I'm actually happier that we beat the Dolphins because it proves that we can beat elite teams. The Jets game was just kind of, I think we were looking ahead and we lost the game. You know, we were able to beat the Dolphins, which at the time were a gauntlet. And now the Dolphins are kind of coming back down to earth because, you know, they haven't really been able to beat any legitimate teams. So I kind of think they're a little bit overrated. But anyway, guys, we're going to talk about the 5-game gauntlet that the Eagles got coming up. This is the toughest part of the schedule that they have had. We have the Kansas City Chiefs this Monday.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm excited for this game. This game is huge. Rich, me, you, Rob, Mario, we've been talking in a group chat. We've been talking about this, and I gotta be honest. I kind of want this game a little bit more than the Dallas second game. I know that's a little crazy because in actuality, it actually is more important for us to, you know, if we had to choose a game, we'd want the Dallas game because of the division, and it'll give you kind of the leg up in NFC. But I don't know, man. I just want to beat this Chiefs team. We haven't beat them since 2009. It's been 4 or 5 outings that the Chiefs have beaten us. We don't play them that often, obviously. They're an AFC opponent. But specifically that Super Bowl loss last year, I want revenge. And what sweeter revenge than to beat them on their home field? And I think realistically it'll shut the whole league up on us. If they get this win over them, they can't say we haven't. Like they said, like the Dolphins, and now they're saying, no, the Dolphins aren't that good. And even when we beat the Cowboys, man, you saw, bro, they're praising Dak Prescott. The Cowboys, they're praising him, bro.
The hypocrisy of mainstream media, bro.
It is insane, and I think that it's like of importance for the media to keep Dallas relevant. They always have to do that because their market is so big. So I really do believe that they try to keep Dallas as relevant as possible because it's a big market. But Dallas did play a fantastic game. I'm not going to lie. Dak Prescott had a fantastic game. CeeDee Lamb had a hell of a game. We know that.
Yeah,
but give the Eagles their due. Like, at the end of the day, a win's a win, and we pulled out the win. Because if Dallas would have won that game, you know, for a fact, they would have never shut up about it. They would have been telling us about it all the time. If we would have lost that game.
The memes would have never fucking ended, bro. The people, yeah.
For real.
Eagles. Dallas. Even Philly, by the way.
Yeah, dude. It's like it's crazy. Like I'm all for giving Dallas their props. They played a good game. Dak didn't turn the football.
I'm not. And I'll tell you exactly what.
Well, of course, man. We got the passion in us. But if I'm being realistic, they played a good game. But guess what? We won the game. They did all that.
We had our slot corner. They can move CeeDee Lamb anywhere they wanted to in that formation. We had no slot corner that week. We had no one who could really play in the slot corner. Now we got our slot corner back from injury, but you know Maddox is out for the season. And we finally got our slot corner back. I mean, I'm just being real, because if it was the reverse way around and Dallas didn't have a slot corner, you know, if they lost, you know they'd be leaning on that as an excuse. They lean on any little thing they can. This time around, it was the refs. And that's why I kind of don't want to give them their props, because a lot of the fans been kind of, you know, excuse my language, they've been real fucking idiots about how they lost this game. Yeah, because you didn't lose because of the refs. The refs gave you how many penalties your last drive? You still you got to the 6-yard line, you couldn't pull it off. I'm not giving, you know, all the good yards and the stats padding that Dak does. And let's be real, they don't need my props anyway because the media is going to give them the props.
Yeah, that's true. I get it.
I mean, to be considered the top tier for beating the Giants, and you haven't beaten any good teams. You haven't beaten any good teams all season. And y'all want to give them their flowers. Y'all won't give us our flowers, right? Now Miami crashed, right? Since we beat them. Okay.
That's true. You
make a fair point, flowers, bro.
You make a fair point, man, that the media is going to give them their props. If I'm thinking from a logical standpoint, I'm like, you know what? Like, they played a good game. But if I'm thinking from an Eagles standpoint, you know, fuck the Cowboys. Like, we don't care about them, man. At the end of the day, though, I will say you're absolutely right. They have not beaten any real teams. They've only faced two legitimate teams, us and San Francisco, and they lost. San Francisco blew them out. Blew the doors off them. It wasn't even close, and we still beat them. It does not matter. So like they can say close all they want, and now they're literally saying what CeeDee Lamb is the best. Like CeeDee Lamb called himself the best receiver in football, and Dak is like now apparently in the MVP conversation. That's just hilarious to me. And obviously, you know, we'll see the rest of the season fans out, but he's not going to be the MVP. Like it's hilarious to me. He had a fantastic game against the Giants, and they're the freaking Giants, and he's in the MVP conversation. Like, and yeah, I get it. He had a clean game against the Eagles. Yeah, it's funny. You know what, though? I love it, though, because, you know, it's like Stephen A. Smith says, what can go wrong will go wrong. And Dallas always finds a way, man, in the biggest games in the playoffs to choke it up. They haven't been to the NFC Championship. Yeah, I think it's been since 96 since they've been to the NFC Championship. So
you already know, man.
Yeah.
I just want to throw out one good point. One last good point before we move forward.
Mm-hmm.
We beat the Giants 3 times last year, and Giants coach won Coach of the Year after we beat them 3 times.
Yeah.
This is us. This is the season after everyone questioned whether Hurts should be the starting QB for the Eagles and whether Eagles were legitimate contenders. We made it to the Super Bowl that year after everyone questioned us, and somehow that guy wins Coach of the Year. And now this year he's fallen flat on his face. And then on top of that, when the Cowboys beat them 1 time, or I think this is the second time around, actually, I think. But even so, you still haven't beat the Cowboys. I mean, you still haven't beat the Giants 3 times like we have. You know, we did it 3 times last year, and no one wanted to give us our flowers. They all want to say, well, You haven't really beat anyone. Even I heard people, especially Cowboys fans, at the beginning going into this season saying, "Well, you only got to the Super Bowl because Brock Purdy got hurt." Well, they don't want to give us the credit for who got to Brock Purdy X amount of times, and even so, let's say let's feed into their narrative. If nothing happened to Brock Purdy, right? How many times did we get to that backup quarterback? Who's to say that even if Brock Purdy was healthy all game, that we wouldn't have gotten to him all game and shut him down because of that? So, it's just kind of wild. You know what I mean? To say, to hear people say, well, Eagles haven't beaten anybody, and now they want to say, oh, well, let's give Dallas their flowers. Dallas hasn't beaten anybody.
With that, bro.
I mean, we've beaten two teams. We've beaten the Miami Dolphins and we've beaten the Dallas Cowboys. So that's two teams that we've beaten. This test is going to be legitimate. There's coming up because we got some road games.
Big teams that, right?
Kansas City's a big one.
You
beat Kansas City.
You
know what though? If it's a close game, they'll find some way to downplay us too. Like if we get less penalty calls or something, they'll find a way. Even in the Miami game, they downplayed it because the Miami Dolphins had no penalty calls, even though a lot of them offset. So a lot of people didn't talk about that. But God forbid we get a game called in our favor for once. Like, you know what I mean? If that was called, it's funny though. I don't really care that much because it's like this is what always happens. And they hype Dallas up for the market and everything like that. It's just funny.
The only reason I care, man, is because I know that whatever is popular in media, the NFL is going to go with. So if you notice, like the Taylor Swift thing and the Travis Kelce thing, I know we're going to talk about this later on, but
of course,
just for the simple fact that the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce thing is so popular, the narrative that's being pushed that the refs are helping out the Eagles, I know that might affect how the refs perceive things moving forward, how the NFL perceives things moving forward, and it's just kind of crazy, man. Like, we can get into it though. I'm not even going to go into another rant. I'm gonna let you move forward.
No, I was going to address some comments here. So D'Angela commented. She said, I don't really watch football, but how many more games for us to go to the Super Bowl? Is it 13 or something to win? Well, obviously we have to win games to get to the Super Bowl, but like the playoffs, we have 8 games left? 8 games left during the season. If we get in the playoffs, even if we had a bye, we'd have 2 games. That's 10. So we would have about 10 to get to the Super Bowl. That's with a bye. Without a bye, and you never know with Detroit. Detroit's got a super easy schedule the rest of the way. It could be 11 games. I still think we're going to lock the number 1 seed up, though.
Decent team.
Yeah. Detroit, though, has a very easy schedule. But here's the thing. I don't fear going to Detroit. Like, I really don't. I know Detroit, it's like, it could be a tough place because Detroit's a blue-collar city like ours. But at the end of the day, I don't fear the Lions. Like, I just don't. They got blown out by the Ravens. We saw what happened when they played a legitimate team. What happened to the Lions? I don't fear the Lions. We've been there. They haven't.
They're not quite there yet.
Yeah, Jared Goff's been there, but
like we have a better team
the rest
overall.
of them haven't. They ironically got C.J. Gardner-Johnson though, which is kind of funny. That's kind of funny.
Wow, that's still wow. That's still affecting us to this day.
The Lions, bro. I give them the respect. Yeah. I give the Lions their respect, but they're not.
I give them respect. I give them respect to a
nobody
point.
thought they're going to be like.
But they haven't really.
Jets. They beat the Buffalo. Yeah.
They haven't really earned it though yet, man, because they have had to prove something in the playoffs, man. They haven't had they've only had one playoff win in how many years, in the playoffs, the Lions. They have a lot to prove. So to me, you have to prove it, and the only way they're going to be able to prove it is in the playoffs.
I respect the Lions because to me, they're better than some of our, everyone else in our division. They're better than, and I respect them just for that. Like they actually have a run game. Like their running backs are wild, man. And I respect them for first and foremost, being cool with allowing us to get Swift. So I'm pretty happy about that. But allowing us the leeway to get DeAndre Swift, that was a big pickup for us in our run game. And I just feel like, Kansas City Chiefs can't stop the run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like the last time around we kind of had, I love Miles Sanders, but he's not a heavy hitting running back. He's not somebody who's really going to drag some people with him or jump over. He'll jump over people, but it's just he's not. DeAndre Swift's got a little bit more power to him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm happy to have a back, and even in
He's more
his little bit
powerful,
of
not as
time,
like moving,
That's
not
fact.
right?
flashy.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
no,
say
He'll
they
jump,
got a
but I
beast.
mean,
Amon-Ra St.
he's more
Brown is a
powerful.
beast as a receiver. He's had what 5 straight 100+ yard games too, man. He's low key up there too, man. Amon-Ra St. Brown is having a good year for the Lions. I kind of wanted to say though, like, well, we don't play them the rest of the year anyway, but this gauntlet of games that the Eagles have coming up, they're gonna be a tough one. But I honestly think I heard what Philly 500 said. Philly 500 was saying he's like, if if the Eagles beat the Chiefs, he thinks they're gonna run. He thinks they're gonna run the table the rest of the season. They're gonna
oh
win
yeah,
the rest gauntlet of games, and he thinks that they're going to obviously win the Cardinals and Giants games too. Unless we like rest our starters at the end because we don't have anything to play for. Which at that point, if we run the table, we would. I'll be honest. The only other game I'm gonna be honest, outside of this Chiefs game, the only other game I can see us losing is the Dallas game on the road. Only because Dallas is a division opponent. On the road, they're
yeah,
tough. We split. Even though we're the better team than Dallas, we do sometimes split with them. It is tough. I got to admit, Prescott does play the Eagles tough. Um, and I'm just being realistic. It could be a tough game. Now, if we play them in the playoffs, we'd beat them. But like, it's just because of the Cowboys. Of like, it's that always that division split. This could be a year of changes though. But if we beat the Chiefs, that would be, in my opinion, then we're at least going 4-1 in that stretch. The Chiefs game is big, but I think if we lose to the Chiefs, we probably beat Dallas. It depends. It depends because you feel like I just feel like they're gonna have like one slip up in there, man. I feel like they're due for like that's a tough gauntlet, man. But I do believe at
Yeah,
the home game
I
here, if we're looking at the
I
Bills,
kind of agree with. It's a tough draw.
yeah, it's just there's always a game where
Yeah,
you slip up. So if I'm looking at the other games though, if I'm being honest, outside the Chiefs game, we'll go back
let's
obviously to
lost
the
to
Chiefs game.
Washington.
That's
So
yeah, but we got to play the Bills at home. Bills do not look like a great team this year. They're not even in the playoff picture in the AFC. I don't know what is going on. They fired their offensive coordinator, and guess what? We got to play them in a week and a half. So they don't
yeah.
have much time to really turn that around the playoffs. You got to play us in Philly. That's a win in my opinion. We got the Niners. Now, a lot of people are worried about that because they're like, oh, they got that win over the Jags and stuff. We match up very well with San Francisco. And I know they'll probably be at full strength at that point. They'll have Trent Williams. They'll have Debo. Debo and Trent Williams were
it'll be
already
a hell of a
back.
game.
Chase Young too. You
Yeah.
got Chase Young too.
I think it'll be a little bit of a dogfight. It's not. I don't think it's going to be. I think it could be a blow. I'm not going to lie. I think we could maybe run away with it, but I do feel like it will be closer than what it looked like in the NFC Championship. But I'm confident that the Eagles win that game. I don't know. Am I crazy? Like I'm confident we win that
No,
game.
you're not. I'm not afraid of the
Not either.
San Francisco 49ers because of talent. I'm afraid of how they're gonna play us because I know for a fact there's a lot of bitter players on that team. I know that they're gonna be doing some dirty things. Look at players like Trent Williams' track record. He's
Right?
Yeah.
been fined multiple times this year by the NFL for punching other players, for pushing other players from behind, for dirty hits, and he hasn't even been fined for all of his dirty hits, which I find very interesting, especially
Cheap
when
shots.
some of our players, like DeAndre Swift, a couple weeks back, got fined for hit sticking somebody. I think it was a Dolphins player. He ran through him. How does a running back get fined for doing his job in the NFL?
I
And
don't know, man.
that's what I'm saying.
You
It's
see what I'm saying,
wild to
bro?
me. But they
That's
are
some
they
petty calls
are
right there, bro. It's just kind
they
of
do
wild.
yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie, you're right. San Francisco's a scrappy team. They like to do some dirty stuff. And yeah, you even saw last year, what was it? Drake Greenlaw was punching the ball, like literally like a boxer, just to punch it up, like because
Yeah,
they're frustrated. Like they play dirty, especially if they're losing, they may try to injure. You have to be
yeah,
careful with that
I,
team.
I'm
I
not
hear
worried
that
about
too.
yo guys. I'm not worried about the wide receivers or the quarterback too much. Even though they got Purdy and Allen, I'm more worried about like the defensive backs. Like Rich said, they really are known to be some dirty shit, bro. I mean, Raymond injuring our guys. I'm gonna watch my mouth. I'm not gonna say this, but to injure one of our guys, they'll be like detrimental. I mean, knock on wood. That's why, like you said, it's gonna be a very rough game, physical, and it's gonna drag out the Cowboys last game, like the one that we won, but we kind of screwed up towards the end with San Fran, because they always, what I mean, like you said, they always like if they win, it's gonna be one of those things, bro. Just like they probably gonna try to frustrate us and try to because how do you frustrate a good player, a full player? Again, hitting them too late, arguments in the field, trying to make you lose your mind. We should be able
It's
to
kind of
be
like
there,
with
but like Steve
Dallas.
said, I can see a slip up in there. I'm fine with it as long as we go forward and we beat Dallas and we beat like the main team, like the Chiefs. I don't care. I mean, I'd rather beat the Chiefs than San Fran. Chiefs are a better team. Let's be clear. Like you said, man. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that like they're gonna win everything, but they're gonna definitely do very well. I think because this is the time to shine. And the Eagles are waiting. Traditionally, November, December are the toughest months, bro. Before the playoffs, the late November, you get a little shift of change. You know, the momentum changes. You get too cocky sometimes. Our first loss team was in fact around that time because we were Miami. Remember that, Steve? So
Yeah.
It's fine. You know, it's not going to be a big deal, in my opinion. We got to beat the Chiefs. And if we somehow we lose the Chiefs, but we look great losing, like it's not like something to be ashamed of. I feel like there's a lot of hope, and we can actually repeat like last year and do well, and go kind of all the way. Because I mean, that is our main guys right now. Like you said, Steve, we don't play them often, so it's like we don't play the Packers often. We don't play. I mean, I don't think we even play Seahawks often, do we? Not really, because they're a different conference. So
do we play? Who'd you say? Did we play who often?
I don't know, guys. I think.
Wait, George, who'd you ask if we played often?
Right, San Fran.
Not too often, but they are a conference opponent. We play them more than we play the Chiefs. We haven't played the Chiefs outside of the Super Bowl. We haven't played
the Chiefs. San Fran.
Yeah, so it's
crazy, right? Yo, we didn't beat them last time. They beat us in 2020. We haven't beat us since 2009, right?
Yeah, we haven't won since 2009. So if you remember the Super Bowl year, the year we won the Super Bowl, we played them week 2 and we lost.
Yeah.
So it just seems like they always beat us, man. But you know what? They're due for one. Another team we haven't beaten in a very long time. Seattle.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Yep, another team on this gauntlet we haven't beaten in a while. But guess what?
Got our number.
Yeah.
But I think they match up well with Geno Smith and stuff. It's a little bit different. Seattle's different though now because they're not Russell Wilson. It's not Russell Wilson in his prime playing there where Russell Wilson always killed us. It's different. I'm not saying that Seattle's not a good team. Again, though, they got blown out by the Ravens. Another team that got blown out by the Ravens. They played a legitimate team, and they got blown up.
The Ravens, man.
And I'm not going to lie. The Commanders almost beat them this week. The Commanders were in Seattle, and they almost beat them, dude. They came down right to the wire. I don't know if that went to overtime, but if it didn't go to overtime, it went right to the end of the fourth.
If they beat the Seahawks this year, I can kind of forgive them for losing to the Jets because it really hurt that we lost to the Jets. I'm not gonna lie, that still hurt. To never lose to a team in history,
that sucks.
And then to lose, I was like, I had a bitter taste in my mouth until they had won 2 games after that. After they won 2 games, I was feeling, all right, y'all got it. But like,
yo, did y'all watch that game though? 2 nights ago.
Yeah, that was her like only bad game that I've seen in a long time. Like I never seen Hurts have like just a bad game since like his rookie. But yeah, this is the first time post like improvement Hurts that we've seen. Just he had a bad game.
So I was gonna say to harp on that. It's the first time since last year that we have 4 turnovers in a game, and guess what that game was? It was against Washington last year. Remember that first game, and guess what? We lost. So that's the recipe. It takes 4 turnovers. Just note that to beat the Eagles. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna happen every time, but it takes about 4 turnovers to beat the Eagles. I mean, with Jalen Hurts. I mean, unless you say the Super Bowl, which ironically was the one outlier, we had 1 turnover and we lost. But the other 2 games we lost during the season were with Gardner Minshew. So Jalen Hurts' regular season game, the last time he had 4 turnovers in a game was against the Commanders last year. And guess what? We lost the game. So there you go. That's what I'm saying. It takes a lot. People that are saying, like, there's Cowboys fans comment, Eagles are going to lose 3 or 4 straight. When is the last time? I'm not going to win.
Delusional, man.
When's the last time the Eagles lost 2 straight games? I'm talking Jalen Hurts, not Gardner Minshew. When is the last time Jalen Hurts lost 2 games in a row?
Dude, don't listen to it because these are the same people who say they're going to win a Super Bowl every season, and they can't even get far in the playoffs. Like, so they can't even get to an NFC championship, let alone win one. So don't listen to those guys. These are the same people that said the refs were on the Eagles' favors when they got more calls that game, and they got more calls at the end stretch of the game, and they still couldn't. They listen. Your quarterback had to delay a game. You know what I'm saying? Your quarterback had to delay a game. How is that the refs' fault that Dak didn't get the ball hiked before the play clock ran out? And they gave him a little extra millisecond too. But we're not going to talk about. So, you know what I mean? Don't listen to these fools, man. And they got whole YouTube channels that I haven't seen. And I can call them out by name if you want me to. I can listen. I don't just talk. I bring the man, I bring the evidence right with me, bro.
Mark
So
Holmes and Michael Anthony are one of them.
it's a max optimized. I'm gonna call him out. Crying channel, just a channel for people who cry. And I commented on there. He'll see Rich and Media on there. It's just a channel for people who cry. The refs is rigged. Oh my god. I mean, we can read some comments, man. I wish I could post them. Next time we're gonna get some access. We're gonna post some comments up here of what some of these fools are saying, man. It's real weird out there. it's real weird out there. And unfortunately, Cowboys fans are like what Stephen A says. They're like a bunch of cockroaches. You can't even get rid of them. They're everywhere. They're all over the nation. Unfortunately, I don't know how they get so far, but they're everywhere for some weird reason. But yeah, man, it's Max Optimized is a YouTube channel where they literally sat there and they pointed out each and every flag that was thrown that wasn't in their favor. They didn't talk about the flags that were. They talked about the flags that weren't in their favor. And they didn't stop at the holds because the referees ignored holds in general that game. And that's fair as long as you do it both sides. But they looked at the holding plays where Eagles didn't get a penalty call. They didn't look at the plays where Dallas didn't get a penalty call. We watched the game. Fletcher Cox, Jalen Carter was getting double, triple team. So if Jalen Carter is getting double or triple team 90% of the snaps, how are they defending against Fletcher Cox, against Hassan Reddick? They're not doing it cleanly. They're clearly holding, and we saw that during the game when we all watched the game. We saw it.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. You know who is the underrated hero of this team on the defensive side? Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis, man. I saw somebody was just talking about that today. Jordan Davis is. It's funny, guys like Mark Holmes and stuff too. A lot of them Cowboys fans. You know what they said last year when we got Jordan Davis? They said he's a bust. That's the funniest thing. Mark Holmes is another one, man. He's another one. Him and Michael Anthony, man. They got their channel on YouTube too. Mark Holmes and them. They like to talk that. I think it's funny. Like Mark Holmes was losing his mind when the Eagles when the Eagles just won last week. He's like game of inches, and they were posting like his video where he was screaming "fuck" real loud. Like after he turned around and just like "fuck" like real loud. Like and they lost the game. Like and now
and
then it's like, dude. They were like laughing. Like somebody was making fun of him because he was like snuggling the football, holding on to a football in his arms at the end of the game, like waiting for the game to be over. He's like holding a football real tight. I'm like, bro, what is going on? Like, dude, it's funny. So if you guys don't know who like Philly 500 and Mark Holmes are, like they stream the games live. Well, obviously Mark Holmes is a Cowboys fan, so he's going to stream the Cowboys games. And Philly 500 is an Eagles fan, but it's funny. Like he puts like Mark Holmes' like whole living room on his screen, like up in the corner.
Right.
And so people be commenting like, "Look, Mark's eating again and stuff," and he's like, "He's always eating." Like, it's funny, man. They just kind of clown each other. It's all in good fun, obviously, but there's a lot of Cowboys fans out there that complain. That's like the nature of Cowboys fans. I mean, I actually know some fans that are cool, but a lot of them just talk a bunch of shit. It's comical though because it's like, how many wins do you really have? I don't even want to make this a whole Cowboys.
A lot of Cowboys fans just hate on the Eagles. But there's nothing to hate on.
But we can still talk about that win.
A lot of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they just like
it was a close one, is a good one. This Chiefs matchup though is going to be tough.
They want to talk about it one.
Yeah, I had this as a loss. And the Eagles being like a 14-3 team this year, I had this one as a loss when I looked at it in August. I think the way the Chiefs look, the Eagles could really win this game. But the thing is that I will say it's in Kansas City. I feel like there's going to be some home cooking calls for Kansas City. Taylor Swift, all this stuff.
Yeah,
Wouldn't be surprised you see some suspect stuff like you did in the Super Bowl. It's in Kansas City, which makes it tough. And one thing I will tell you though, yes, Kansas City's offense isn't playing particularly great this year, but our secondary is suspect. It is suspect. It's the weakest part of our team is the secondary. But I will also say this though too: different coordinator. Matt Nagy's the offensive coordinator. You know, Andy Reid has something to say with that offense though too. It's not just Nagy, but their defense is playing very well this year. Very well. Kansas City's defense is legitimate. They are a top 5 defense in the NFL right now. They're tough, but our offense is really, really good. So
they can't stop the run though, brother.
They're
good against teams that don't got a run game. Like they
right.
can embarrass teams that don't got the best run game, but they got a team, I'm telling you, man, like they lost to the Broncos. Like we don't put them up there too much because
See,
they did lose to Broncos this year.
yeah, they did. And see, man, I was actually going to get to that point with the run. We have to do it though. We have to run it because that's the thing. I hope the Eagles do it because sometimes I feel like Sirianni and the offense they try to over there with Brian Johnson they try to throw the football a little bit too much. Now I know that's like the sexy move. It's the sexy play. You want to see Hurts be able to hit Brown and have the crazy game, but sometimes you just need to stick to a formula. You're right. Kansas City's defense actually does not play particularly well against the run. I think it's the formula is you're obviously going to pass the ball. You're going to get Brown involved, but and you're going to get Devontae Smith involved. We'll see what's going to go on with the Goddard injury this week. Obviously, Goddard's out for an extended period, but the thing is, you do have to run the football. Maybe even run a little bit with Hurts. I know he's got the bone bruise, but you just have to be careful with that too. But run the ball with Swift. Implement. I'm not really a big Kenny Gainwell fan, but implement Gainwell. Maybe Penny. He sees the field a little bit this week, or you know what I mean. But
good, man, 1 rush for 9 yards last week. Come on,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they do need to run the football against Kansas City in order to win the game. In my opinion, you have to. That's their defense is really good, but if they have any weakness on defense, it's the run. And we have arguably the best offensive line in the league too. Although I will say Kansas City's offensive line has allowed the least sacks in the league since week 1. It's 12 sacks. I saw that. It's going to be tough too. It's going to be a really good game. It's going to be a good game. It's the top seed in the AFC versus the top seed in the NFC. This is going to be. If you're looking to get your money's worth on a good game, this is it. Like, it's a hell of a game.
I will say this about well, I'll just let you know I have updates whenever you're ready to hear them. I got a bunch of updates on the Eagles roster.
Go ahead, man.
Well, my first update is that Jalen Hurts is out of his brace. So Jalen Hurts seems to be 100% fully healthy going into this week. Cool. From some updates. Another update, we already know Nakobe Dean's going on IR. We kind of already know that. But one piece of good news that has to do with IR, Dallas Goedert is not going on IR. So that is like extremely good news. That it's confirmed his injury, by that Cowboys cornerback, pulling his arm down. It's not that serious where he has to go on IR. So thankfully, it looks like he's doing good. We saw him walking into the NovaCare complex with no, visible cast anyway. So that's a good sign.
Positive. I was gonna say, what's the IR? What is considered IR? Anything more than 4 weeks?
Yeah, 4 weeks or more. Yeah,
okay. He's less than 4 weeks, which is good. We won't have him for the majority of the gauntlet of these games. We can have him back by the end of the season, which is key. And obviously the playoffs, that's the biggest. Obviously, we would need him in the playoffs. We can't not have him. So, to be honest, man, if we take care of this gauntlet, though, we might not even need to play him for the rest. Maybe get him into one of those Giants or Cardinals games just to get him hot and get him warmed up for the playoffs. But if we can win these games, at the end, the Giants, this division game, the Giants are just garbage, man. That should be 2 easy wins. And then you have the Cardinals, which it's Jonathan Gannon. The Cardinals got 1 win, 2 wins. Another team that's just not a good team. And the only win, I think it's 1 win. And I think it's only against Dallas.
Yeah.
Dallas doesn't like to talk about that one, though.
They've been losing on purpose while Kyler Murray was gone to try and get that number 1 draft pick. I feel like so are the Giants as well. And the thing is, though, when Kyler Murray came back, he knew his job was on the line. So Kyler Murray, right when he came back, he started balling out because he didn't want to get replaced. Everyone's looking at that guy out of USC who's opting for the draft. So, I think the league is this always happens. A guy gets hyped up. He's probably going to be an average player in the NFL, in my opinion. He's a really good player, not to throw him under the bus, but if he's the number 1 pick, he's probably going to go to a crappy team. He's probably going to go to a bad team. And unfortunately, when guys who are really great players go to these teams that draft someone in the number 1 pick, let's say, for instance, let's say Giants get him, or let's say I go as far as to all right, let's Giants or Cardinals get him or something like that. he's not going to have the proper protections going into the league, and he's not going to be able to develop. It's kind of like that situation that's going on with Zach Wilson. Like Zach Wilson is, I mean, he's not the best quarterback, but he still needs time to develop. But he can't because his line is trash, and they have him starting out there right now. So I mean, look what happened to Aaron Rodgers, right? You can put the best quarterback behind a line like that, and I mean, look what happened to Aaron Rodgers. He wasn't even 30 seconds into the game or something like that. It was like really fast. He got injured.
You have to invest in the trenches, man. Defensive line and offensive line, man, is critical. It's both ends. That's what I think makes the Eagles such a great team, man. Is we have arguably the best O line and D lines in the league, man. And I know people say defense win championships, which is critical, but I think that also Super Bowls are won in the trenches, and it's one of the things that's not talked about enough because we talk about the flashy wide receivers and the running backs and corners making interceptions. Like the thing is, like we don't really talk about it enough. I think Super Bowls are won in the trenches. And you have to be able to get to a quarterback on defense, and you have to be able to protect your quarterback on offense. Offensive line is one of the biggest ones that's not talked about, man. And it is so critical. You saw what happened to Kansas City in that Super Bowl against the Bucs. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, when they had two of their top offensive linemen out, he was running for his life, man. It's just, and that's as great of a quarterback as Patrick Mahomes was. He wasn't able to weather that storm. It just goes to show you need an offensive line. So you're right. Yeah, Zach Wilson has not really had time to develop. Look at Saquon behind the line, and I mean he's had some breakout runs, but he's also on a team like the New York Giants where he's literally wasting his career. It's not his fault. That's where he was drafted, but
right,
wasting his career in New York. So you're right. Like the teams that usually get those high draft picks are not good teams, and you only have a short window a lot of times to try to turn it around. That's why we're blessed in Philadelphia. I mean, Jalen Carter got himself into a hell of a situation where we got a traded draft pick. And we're able to get him early in the draft, and he dropped down. That just doesn't happen to a team that was in the Super Bowl last year. We had, the 10th overall? That just does not happen. So he got very lucky coming to a team. Already had some Georgia Bulldogs here, and then he came to a team that was in the Super Bowl last year. So, yeah. The Eagles, though, this gauntlet, record-wise, what are you thinking? So Kansas City, Buffalo, San Francisco, Dallas, at Seattle.
Yeah, so let me just bring everything up. Well, I mean, this run, I'm not as afraid of it as like what the media is trying to make things out to be. Like, the media is kind of just like, now Eagles are, going to see a challenge.
I think a couple, if I may, I was going to say, I think a couple things brought this back down to earth a little bit. So when you saw this at the beginning of the season, you're like, oh, geez, it's a tough schedule.
Most definitely.
I was going to say the Niners lost 3 straight. Buffalo is 5-5. They're not where you thought they were going to be. And Kansas City's offense just has not looked as good as it has in years past.
We beat Buffalo, bro. We beat Buffalo 10 times out of 10, guys. We're going to have trouble with, for real. I feel like Cowboys might give us a little trouble, but even if we lose that game, if we win everything else, okay, we beat them in our home field. Kansas City's about the last one, but you'd be surprised, though, how the Cowboys do at home. They got something to prove. They want them because they feel like they could have the last game. Remember how we once let it slip by? So we're gonna be out there for revenge, for blood. We're out for revenge. I don't want to say out for blood, but out for revenge and not for bragging rights because of the Kansas. Not so much because Taylor Swift and the Kelsey brothers. That's a cool American fairy tale story. Yada yada.
One thing that makes us hopeful about Dallas,
if we can beat them, bro, we can silence the but we can silence the critics, like Rich was saying. A lot of them did give us a shot, and they feel like. Last year, we got a little lucky with the Super Bowl, this and that, ta-da-da-da. If we actually can do well against the Chiefs, we're actually going to win, bro. And depending on how things go, I think we can silence a lot of critics, and people will be a lot more afraid than they really are. People are definitely fearing us as far as, the coaches and all. They're trying to figure out our plays, what we're doing, Hurts and all that. They figure out ways to stop us. But,
they're taking
one team that, again, knows a little about
us,
which it's the Chiefs, because Reed and all. Go ahead. Go ahead, Rich. You got it.
No. I was going off of what you were saying. I was agreeing with you there where you're just like, people are afraid of us. Like the Commanders in the it's a couple of teams in the NFC that's been taking our linemen off of our practice squad. Like they've been specifically looking at Eagles practice squad and trying to take all the linemen off. Like it's been 3 or 4 linemen. The Giants, the Commanders have all taken linemen off of our practice squad this year. And so it's been kind of crazy, man.
They're scouting. Yeah, they're scouting. I was gonna say, just going back to that Giants. I mean, not the Giants, the Cowboys point. The only thing that makes me hopeful that the Eagles could possibly sweep the Cowboys, man, is I think the Cowboys gave us their best possible punch on offense. Their best punch. Dak had almost 400 yards passing. CeeDee Lamb had 190 yards receiving, and they still couldn't beat us. So
Dak
I
was
mean,
fucking
they,
good.
they
Dak
still
was
didn't
good
beat
that
us with
year.
all of that. So we might be able to sweep them, man.
Yeah.
Remember, man, there hasn't been any back to back
NFC East champions.
yeah, since like 04, 05.
Since
So
us, we're the last ones to do it. So why can't we be the ones to do it again? You know what I'm saying?
exactly. I know you were making some
04,
points.
05.
Yeah.
So long ago, guys.
So if we go into the gauntlet, man, what are you thinking? Like, or at least what they're
Last
saying
team
is
in
the
the Super
gauntlet.
Bowl.
What do you think our record's going to be on the other side of those 5 games going into? I guess at that point, what, week 15? No, week 16. Going into week 16, 16, 17, 18. Yeah. So what do you think in the next 5 weeks? What are you thinking? I'll start with Rich.
I think we'll be man, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8 more games. I think we either gonna be I mean 7-1 or worst 6-2. That's worst case scenario. We win.
What are
we
you
lose
thinking
2
over
games.
what are you thinking over the 5 games, the next 5, like the gauntlet? That's like the tough games because I think we'll win the last 3.
The next 5, I do think we're gonna go like. I think we're gonna go 5-0 unless that Chiefs game, you know what I'm saying, gives us some issues, then I can see us going 4-1. But I'm not worried about the Bills. I'm not worried about the Niners. I'm not worried about the Cowboys. I'm a little bit worried about the Seahawks, I'm not gonna lie. But like you said, Russell Wilson's not there. They don't have the same players. We do still gotta deal with DK Metcalf. So that is one thing, man. That is one thing. Like that, I'm like, man, like that's the only one where I could see, like, dang, we can go 6-2. Because if DK Metcalf has a game against us,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, in our corners, like you said, it's our weakest, man. I could just see Slay getting handled by DK. So like, it's not like I respect Slay. He's a great, but he's not. I think he's like slowly leaving his prime, like, and he's not fully out of his prime, but he's on that tail end, man. I can't necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't. That's like, thankfully, listen, this is one thing I'll say because we got Byard as safety. We got our slot corner coming back that we got from the Chargers, I believe. And so this is the thing. If they were able to sift through, it all depends on the players on the roster, right? If they were able to sift through the miscommunication that happened the first, 9 games of the season, if they're able to figure out this scheme and execute, because to be honest with you, I'm gonna go as far as to say it's not the coordinator. I'm gonna go as far as to say it's the players' communication. Even Brian Dawkins, when he was on Jakeem Media, Brian Dawkins was like, I can see, like, most of the time I can see people like having their arms up, like they're adjusting very slowly. There's a lot of people who look confused pre-snap. That's what Brian Dawkins was saying. So for me, like, I'm a listen to the legend, and I'm gonna say, listen, if they can get this communication stuff straight during the bye week, like I can honestly see us going 8-0, you know what I'm saying, for the rest of the season, But like, if something else different happens where we haven't straightened out, we might lose a game or two, because of this very thing. You know what I mean? We're going up against some good matchups in the sense of we got to play CeeDee Lamb again. He carved us up in the slot.
Yeah.
We got to play DK Metcalf. Something about DK Metcalf, man, and going up,
But I think our offense will be too much for their defense.
Yeah, I really hope so. I really hope we can keep their offense off the field. I really do think we can. If we can execute those like long drives that are just killers, man, where we just run out like 6-7 minutes off the clock. I think we can win all these games if we can execute offensively.
Playoff football, yeah.
Correctly. That's the other side of the coin, man, is that our offensive coordinator, sometimes you have a great game, sometimes you have some calls where it's like, all right, what is this guy calling? Why does he keep calling screens? Why is he calling QB runs on 3rd and 9? Why are you calling QB runs? Why? You got to stop that. And especially if you're QB, especially if Hurts is like somewhat injured, why would you call QB? And that's probably what got him injured, to be honest with you, is
Yeah,
calling
no,
QB runs at 3rd and 9, man. Come on. Like, so, I mean, from what I've seen, he hasn't done that in a while. So I'm happy about that. But just building off, our strengths, and doing our best to recover from our weaknesses. Communicate more in the defense. We need a defensive leader in that secondary because Slay is a captain, but he hasn't been executing like a captain, and neither has what's the other corner on the other side? I forgot his name. He's been playing so freaking bad, man. The second,
Bradbury.
yeah, Bradbury's been playing like, I mean, to get
Horrible.
burnt and jumped over in one game.
Horrible.
It's just like,
he's another one, man. Looks like he's leaving his prime.
Yeah, it's just like you can only take so much disrespect on the secondary, and like I said, I respect those guys. They're all good players, but man, like, something's got to give with how these playing. Whether you need to communicate with the defensive coordinator and say, hey, listen, I don't want to play, 5-6 yards off coverage. Like if that's the issues, the scheme, then speak up about it. If the issues, you're not playing as well as you can, then get your weight up. Because y'all honestly played 10 times better than this last year. Y'all got more interceptions last year. You know what I'm saying? Y'all were more aggressive last year in the secondary. So they got to get their weight back up to where they were last year, because I'm not seeing it.
And their time to speak up would have been in the first 9 games, because that's when you had some of the easier games. See, now it's going to be hard to experiment with new things in the middle of a tough stretch. So it's maybe they'll have some time at the end of the season with the last 3 games if they don't really have much to play for. But we'll see what happens. But I was just looking also at Seattle's defense for some reason. I saw they're ranked 24th. So there could be a defense that we might be able to – our offense might be too much for. But we do have 3 of the next 5 games is against top 5 defenses. In Dallas, San Fran is 5, and Kansas City is 4. So they're all tough defenses the next few weeks. Yeah, so
what about
it's going to
be the Bills are not known for their defense, are they?
They have been in years past, but not now. We have a better ranked defense than them this year. They're not in total defense. So I will say, though, the Eagles, man, they look like Jalen Hurts looked like that dude against Dallas. Man, you saw that pass over the shoulder right to Devontae Smith over Jerome Bland, who everybody was talking so big on before that game, saying he had 3 pick sixes to the house. Well, I'll be honest, we looked really good against him. Mm-hmm. So, and then even though Stephon Gilmore, we looked good. Our offense is just really, really good, man. It's tough. Like, the offense looked a little shaky at the beginning of the season. It looked like the defense was the one playing the best against like the Patriots and against the Vikings, but the offense is absolutely firing right now. We just need to play our game. The secondary worries me. Honestly, if we had a good secondary, this team would just be unstoppable, not even questionable. Like, it's just the secondary just worries me a little bit against passing quarterbacks. It's just a wonder. To it, I will say the Eagles actually played a fantastic game against the Miami Dolphins. That secondary worried me going into that Dolphins game. They played a really good game against Miami. The way they schemed it, Sean Desai is going to have to draw that type of scheme up the next 5 games. He's going to need to have a really good game on the back end, and I think you have to get to the quarterback. That's also what worries me. Kansas City's O-line has only given up 12 sacks this year. Yeah. Now, I don't know how many good D-lines they've played, but it's only 12 sacks. They've arguably one of the top 3 O-lines in the league up there with us. I just hope that, Mahomes doesn't have a ton of time. I liked what Chris Sims actually said, and I really don't listen to what Chris Sims ever says. But he actually said that he thinks the Eagles D-line is going to play with a chip on their shoulder after losing that Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
Somebody commented in, I'm pretty sure this might be Todd or Joe, and he said, if we beat the Chiefs, we will go 5-0 barring any significant injury. Yeah, I'm starting to believe that, to be honest. I think the same thing. Exactly. The Chiefs game can be tough. If we, really, outside of the Chiefs, I don't see any other game than maybe Dallas, because it's a division game on the road that I can see us losing. So I'm thinking on the final stretch here, I'm thinking 7 and maybe we could go literally either 8-0 or 7-1. That's crazy to think. I mean, maybe they'll let a game go at the end of the year when they're not playing for anything.
7-2. You mean 8-1 or 7-2? Because we got 9 games left.
Do we have 9? We've
Or
already played
no,
9. No, we have 8. We have 8. Yeah,
oh, we got 8.
because we played 9 so far. We're 8-1. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. My fault.
No, it's good. It's good.
Man, I just looked at the Chiefs schedule, like you asked, like who have the Chiefs played. Their schedule's been so cupcake for a Super Bowl champion. I've never seen a more cupcake schedule for a Super Bowl. Literally every easy team in the NFL they played. They played this, like they played Saints, Cardinals, Browns, Lions, Jags. I mean, Jags not super easy, but I mean they're not.
I'll be honest, bro. Browns is not an easy team either, man. They're what 6-3.
They are, but their offense is like their offense. They play. I mean, they
their
play.
Their defense,
and that was preseason, really. If we want to go regular season, we're talking the Lions, the Jags, the Bears, the Jets, the Vikings, the Broncos. Who they lost to? The Chargers, the Broncos again, which isn't that because that's their division, but. You know what I'm saying? They already have easy teams in their division with the Broncos and the Raiders.
Dolphins were probably the toughest team they played so far, literally.
Yeah, but you already got Broncos and Raiders in your division. Why do y'all need to play easier teams? Like, I don't understand. Like, they got the Patriots, the Packers. Like, I'm like, dude, they're not even playing. Dude,
the Chargers are in their division too, and they stink. The Chargers stink too, dude. They're 4-4? Or 5-5 or something like that. They stink too, dude. They're not good. So like they have a really crappy division.
They don't even play the Niners. Like they're not even playing like anyone.
Did they play the Browns in the preseason? Was the preseason they played them?
The Browns they did play in the preseason.
Yeah, so that doesn't count.
That doesn't count.
I was gonna say the Browns are a sleeper though, man. They got the best defense in football.
Yeah.
If you look at total defense, I just looked. The Browns are ranked 1. Their defense.
I hope the Browns. I mean, listen, man.
I
hope the Browns make it far, bro. I really do.
I looked at the playoff picture, and if the playoffs started today, all 4 teams from the AFC North would be in the playoffs. That's the Steelers, the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Browns would all be in the playoffs.
The Steelers, the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Browns.
Yeah, they'd all be in the playoffs.
That'd be a wild playoffs.
That division is nasty. Like that division is filthy, dude.
They're dirty, bro. I'm not even gonna lie.
actually, guys, we got a good Thursday night football game going on tonight. We got the Ravens and the Bengals. That's a division game. So the AFC North. This is probably the best Thursday night football game all season. Right there.
You know what? One thing I'll say though, it won't be entertaining if they make a playoffs and Lamar Jackson gets hurt at the end of the season like he usually does. Because Lamar Jackson always gets hurt at the end of the season. Like he always gets hurt either right before playoffs or during playoffs. Like that's why he hasn't. I don't think he's won a playoff game. I don't think.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, like. For them to be saying like Lamar is better, like I heard a lot of people try to say Lamar is better than Hurts. Like I hear them say like Burrow's better than Hurts. Like Burrow is good right now, but like Hurts is the best quarterback more recently. So
Burrow complete wise, if I'm being like non-biased, I could see Burrow. Lamar Jackson's not better than Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts does more things better than Lamar Jackson.
And neither is Josh Allen. Josh Allen's not better than Jalen Hurts.
No, not right now either, man. You see the way Josh Allen's playing. No, Joe Burrow. It's tough for me. Joe Burrow is a really good quarterback. If you really look at it, he can do a lot of things really well. And I will say he was injured the first 3 games to start this season where they lost all 3 of those. He had the hamstring. Anybody who's ever played the quarterback position understands that the hamstring is super important to a quarterback. You could tell he didn't even look like Joe Burrow at the beginning of the season.
Burrow's debatable. I will give you that because Burrow played in the AFC Championship. Like Burrow, Burrow made it to the Super Bowl. Like
there's only 2 quarterbacks that could possibly put above Hurts, and it's Mahomes and Burrow. And even that, it's a questionable because Hurts is like right there with Burrow. Obviously,
I'm saying off of who got the best record right now. That's why I'm going
We'll forget that.
Because last year they were trying to say, especially guys like James Jones, off of Speak because he's on Speak now. The main thing that guys like James Jones was saying was that Hurts is winning because his team was good. But the thing is, like, Hurts, the team isn't as good as it used to be, especially with 2 new coordinators. It's not as good as last year. We got to admit that. Like, the team's not as good as no team let's be real. Kansas City aren't what they were last year either. And that's why we're still like, man, we can still win this thing because it's no one who's really pulling away like that except for the Eagles. Eagles are 8-1.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Eagles have beat teams who We're 3-0 against teams over 500. We're 3-0 against teams who are the big teams, who are good teams. And so they don't want to give us our flowers. So I'm gonna give us our flowers for real. And that, they get mad at people like Shady, you know what I'm saying? They get mad at people who stick up for the Eagles. But honestly, and this goes into the tush push too. You know what I'm saying? Because Tom Brady, remember the screenshot, the picture I sent you of Tom Brady, the article of his type of QB sneak.
He did it forever.
He did it forever and nobody said nothing. He's the GOAT. So how come when Hurts finds something that's good, that they, not even Hurts, like the teams can execute this consistently, and other teams have tried it and other teams have failed. So why do y'all want to ban something that our team is good at? It's obviously because y'all don't want to see us do good. I see Giants fans, I see Commanders fans, I see Cowboys fans, who every time that we win, every time we do something positive, they want to say it's rigged. Every time.
They hate it so much because they can't execute it well. Yo, last week the Cowboys tried it, and you saw what happened. They actually got stopped, but Bayer couldn't control his temper. The guy threw him out of the pile, and Bayer shoved him. It gave him unnecessary roughness, 15 yards. But I'm gonna be honest, if they had
how do you give him that when he fell? The other guy didn't even fall.
Tom was pissed, man. Tom was pissed. I was like, it's like, dude, to be honest, like they always get the second guy. But I was gonna say, if they had reviewed that play, I don't think that got it. I don't think he did. I think that would have been a turnover on downs, and I don't think he would have got it.
That's why they gave him that. That's what I'm saying, man. Like that, you can't say the referees are against you when stuff like that happens. Because let's be real, if it was the 49ers versus the Cowboys and this happened, listen, Cowboys wouldn't have got that call. So I don't want to hear, like, to be honest with you, dude, like certain things that are happening to us in the NFL, it's just we find ways to win. I don't know what people want to hear. Eagles find ways to win, and a lot of people don't like that per se. Like,
yeah. I was gonna say, even if we lose this Kansas City game, it's not even really a big deal to us, to be honest. Like, because we still like it. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people, if we do win this game, it's gonna change. It's gonna change how everybody looks at this team. If we beat them, it's gonna be big.
You know what?
Yeah, it's gonna be huge.
It's a turning point, Steve. It's a turning point for sure. Like if we win tomorrow, if we win this game coming up on Monday, like Rich was saying earlier, which you said, it's gonna be a huge momentum changer. And let's be clear on one thing, because I'm hearing about the Eagles this and that. We are definitely, I mean, not that it matters. The second place doesn't count. I get it, but we're runners up from last year, and the Chiefs are number. They won it, so they're defending champs. Now we play the Chiefs. If we beat them, bro, I'm not guys, and I mean you two guys. So you guys are actually educated fans. We know what's going on. Some guys will be like, "Yo, we got." No, dummy. This just means that we're on the right path because we beat a team that can possibly get in the playoffs. And first of all, they beat us last year. Second of all, we see them again. So if we win this, a lot of questions be answered. But like you said, Steve, the way the schedule's set up, bro, with San Fran. You have I believe after the Chiefs, is it a San Fran or is it it's the Bills, right? It's the Bills.
Buffalo.
It's like
Buffalo.
You get like an easier game in there. It can mess your mind up. Small injuries count. You know what I mean? But with Hurts being in shape, though, I think that and actually being like a fit, like normal, like Rich was saying earlier with that you said that like inside the scoop, that like he's actually no more like the injuries getting light on him. He's getting back to 100%. That's a huge one, bro. He's gonna be the fairest we have, and I don't know exactly how many of our guys are not where they need to be injured or something. But honestly, bro, like Steve was saying, this could be a big changer. Fuck the narrative, because anybody can change the narrative. This is gonna be the facts, and the facts are that we're up there, bro. We are in the top 3 teams in the NFL right now. I mean, it's like if it's not Austin, I don't know who else is up there.
Yeah, we're
not necessarily. The fucking Cowboys.
I was gonna say there's 2 points.
I think it comes down to this game.
Yeah, there's just 2 points I wanted to make, and one of them is we were saying about diversity with 2 different coordinators, like adversity and stuff like that. The one thing I think Dante's trying to come on me. Dante, what's up, bro?
What's up, guys?
Oh, damn, we got Tizzy. Dante made it.
What's going on?
Yeah, what's up? I'm late to the party, but later. Better to be late than never.
Yeah, we still streaming because we had an issue earlier, so like we actually had to cut out for a little bit, but so we're actually still streaming. But we were just saying, there's like 2 points. So one of them is Rich. We were saying about adversity. 2 new coordinators coming in. we've still been able to stay 8-1 even after that. And usually there's always a thing called the Super Bowl hangover. The team that got there and lost usually is not able to keep up the year after. We've had a lot of very close games that we've pulled out, which I think shows a lot about this team. We haven't just been blowing teams out left and right because playoff games are going to be close. So you need to be able to have adversity. I will say there's two stats that do stack up against us going into this Chiefs game. Well, one of them is teams have only played each other after the Super Bowl the next season. This is the 9th time. The team that won the Super Bowl is 6-2, but that's a stat that could be broken. So this would be the 9th time. Also, Andy Reid's infamous bye record. So after the bye, Andy Reid is 27-4 all time after the bye. So he's very tough. He's really good in bye week preparation coming off the bye. But I think Sirianni's 2-0 or 3-0 or something like that. Because that's the thing, we've never had but he hasn't been around as long. So we'll see, man. It's Andy Reid. It's tough, man. But that's what I'm saying. If we beat the Chiefs, dude, the whole narrative changes. Whereas if we lose, depending on how we lose, if we lose a close game, it's not really a sweat. It's an AFC opponent. Doesn't really affect us. It's a loss, but it doesn't really affect us for tiebreakers. You know what I mean? Because it's an AFC opponent.
Yeah. I honestly think that we're going to win, but I also think that we needed this bye week to get our team together. For me, I feel like a lot of it is injuries, soreness, even a little fatigue. They needed that little break. I don't have a problem with the Eagles not blowing out teams and stuff because I feel like our biggest problem is we blow out teams and then in the first half and then in the second half they're like, yeah, we're going to win, and they let the team come back. So when it comes to playing other teams and blowing them out, I'd rather we have a good game into that second half, and then that's when we have to do what we do to win.
Hey,
just
yo,
so we
Tizzy.
feel yeah. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, you're fine.
Nah, I just wanted to tell you your point. Going off of your point, brother. Man, I'm telling you, Hurts. I don't know if you noticed, but Hurts got his brace off.
Yeah.
Just going off your point.
Yeah, so somebody commented too. They said, I'd rather lose to the Chiefs than the Cowboys because we need to lock up the number 1 seed. Yeah, and see, that's the thing. I might sound a little selfish here. I was saying this in my group chat this week. I know it makes more sense for us to win that second Dallas game, but I just want to win this Chiefs game so bad, man. Just to shut them up. I feel like this team, it changes the narrative if we win because the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC.
It's the doubters.
We haven't beaten them since 2009. It will be huge because also you don't want to lose to them and then have to play. Say God forbid we rematch them in the Super Bowl. Is this going to be in your head that you just can't beat this team? I don't know what it is. I do understand it's really not really a sweat if you look at it from an actual standpoint. In the terms of the standings, you lose, so you kind of link up with the Lions that only have 2 losses. But if I'm looking realistically, it's an AFC loss. And guess what? Our only other loss was to the Jets, which is another AFC loss. In terms of the standing, you don't want to lose conference games. You don't want to lose division games. So the Cowboys game actually matters more. It matters more than this game. I think just from an emotional, personal standpoint, I want to beat the Chiefs. This is going to be real interesting. Both of us are coming off byes, too. See, Andy a lot of times plays a team that hasn't also come off a bye. So you got to factor that in, too. We're both coming off a bye at the same exact time. So this is going to be a really interesting game. We haven't even gotten to the Sixers yet, but the Sixers will be quick because the Sixers are only 10 games into the season when we talk about them. We can literally probably talk about them for 10 minutes. There's not really a ton to talk about with the Sixers other than they've kind of shocked people with James Harden not being here, how good they've played. But
I'm not shocked.
Yeah. Dude, they're 0-6 out there in LA now. I was going to say, though, just talking about the Eagles point, I think if they beat the Chiefs, I really do think they could run the table on this and go 5-0. I think either 5-0, 4-1, I think is what I'm thinking for this stretch. And then after that, it really depends on what they have to play for at the end of the season. If they have to play every single one of those games and Detroit is still close, I'd say they'll go 3-0 against the Giants twice and then against the Cardinals. But it really depends. They might sit their starters and play Mariota.
Yo, Steve, I gotta go.
Definitely gonna
so I'm tagging with Dizzy because I got some stuff I gotta do. I really gotta go soon. But one thing I will say, the last thing I will say is I'm excited for this Chiefs game for you, like same as you, but like for a different reason. Because like for me, I want us to go to Arrowhead and like feel that hate, bro. Like it's gonna be a lot of Chiefs fans there. It's gonna be a lot of trash talking. It's gonna be a lot of y'all lost last year. Y'all choked. All
Yeah.
this stuff, man. All the
Taylor Swift.
signs hurts, doesn't it? They're gonna have all the signs. I'm telling you right now, bro. Taylor Swift gonna be there, whatever the hell that means. But listen, it's gonna light. I guarantee you, win or lose
Right.
this game, is gonna light a fire under their asses.
It is.
Is gonna whatever they hear from these fans, all the trolling, everything. The Eagles tears, milk that they made, everything, man. I'm so excited, bro, for these players to get into an atmosphere where they feel that hate because our fans travel very well, so we get a lot of Eagles players and get a lot of love, and I feel like some players like I hate to call it like Darius Slay, man. He kind of ran like when he was on the stream with Cam Newton on his um podcast. He was kind
Yeah.
of like, oh, Eagles fans are crazy. Da, da, da. He kind of threw us under the bus a little bit. Now he said he does love us. I will point that out. But the thing about it is, man, when you're so used to getting so much love from the fan base because we are 8-1, like sometimes like halfway through the season you might get lenient. You might get like, all right, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like how we were talking about at the second half of games, how what Tizzy was saying, where it was like, oh, we won, you know what I mean? It's no fire under there because you really want to beat a team down. You know what I'm saying? And we haven't really done that year. Not that it matters. 8-1 is what matters. But what I'm saying is it's a certain type of animal that comes with dominating the team. And I feel like, Eagles kind of, you know, hey, listen, we won here and there. It's a lot of hiccups, it's a lot of bad communication in secondary. But if they get that fire lit up, man, that fire, and they get put back into that atmosphere that you were talking about, where it's like, man, they're playing, okay, this is not a team you play with. You know what I'm saying? You get someone to a team like the Chiefs will expose all your weaknesses. They will
Yeah.
rip you apart. And one thing about the Eagles is I know that they play down to competition sometimes, and sometimes we play up to competition. And
Mhm.
so for us, like, I'm excited to see this fire lit up under us, and I'm excited to hear all the hate. You know what I'm saying? All the hate from Chiefs fans, because it's a lot of Chiefs fans that are, they're close to, Dallas fans in some way, shape, or form. I know that there is hate. It's a lot of love from KC. It's because of the coaching tree and things like that with Andy Reid.
Yeah.
But still a lot of hate from the Kansas City Chiefs fan base as well. So I can't wait to see how our players react in a hostile environment. I can't wait to see it. I don't know how these players feel after losing that Super Bowl. You don't really truly know. I know some players. I know Mailata had spoke up this
Yeah,
week
it's a
and
big
said,
game.
"Man, listen, I'm pissed. Like I want to get my get back. I don't care." So
Yeah.
I've got to see what the rest of the team is feeling with that Super Bowl loss. I want to see. This is going to tell us a lot about this team. You feel me? That's the
Yeah.
last thing I want to say before I head out.
Yeah, we've only had like two hostile environments all year. I'd say one of them was probably the Jets up in New York when we lost that game, and then we had the Patriots up in Boston. That's a tough environment, even though their team's just not that great. But this is going to be the third like tough environment they've played in. This is going to be a real test because a lot of other games we've had at home. So we got games on the road now. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. But I like that, man. It's gonna be a fire, and that's the thing. Like the Chiefs absolutely have the ability to break you down if you let them. And I think it's going to be a close game, but I think they're going to pull it out, man. And it's Monday night, man. It's going to be literally prime time, all eyes on us, both teams. And this is going to be the top team in the West and top team in the AFC, top team in the NFC, going head to head, prime time for all the marbles. So it's literally, well, not for all the marbles, but just like literally for bragging rights. You know what I mean? Like to keep up. You win that game, it shuts a lot of people up, regardless. Yeah, I mean, we'll probably wrap up soon anyway, man. I know you're going to head out. I mean, we'll just talk like Sixers probably for like the last
Bragging
10
rights.
minutes and hop out, man. But, yo, Rich, I appreciate you coming on, man, as always, man. Guys, give Rich a follow. I actually put him on our YouTube channel on the community page. Give him a shout out. Rich M Media on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, go to the community tab. You can actually see his channel's linked right there. He's a I always try to shout out our people on here, so go check out Rich Guys. He's got a lot of good Eagles content on his page. Appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, brother, for having me on here. I love coming on the Locked In podcast. It's a great podcast. I can't wait for you to get your get up. You know what I'm saying? You're already up, but you know, it's only up more from here. It's only up higher. So, you know, I'm proud of you, proud of George for the work y'all put into the podcast. Putting in work in my channel while juggling a whole bunch of other stuff. So, I
Thank you,
just want
bro.
to thank y'all for having me on here today. And listen, go Birds, EAGLES Eagles. Baby. All right.
Yo, man, appreciate the words,
Absolutely.
brother. And yes, sir, go Eagles, man. Yeah, maybe we
That's
can all
it, bro.
catch it
That's
Monday
it.
or something, man. We'll see.
Good stuff, bro.
Hey.
Very good
All
show,
right,
bro.
man.
Appreciate you, Rich.
All right, brother. Take care, man.
Always a pleasure. Have a good
All
one.
right, man. So Rich is out, man. So George, I think we'll just transition to Sixers for about like 5-10 minutes, man. There's not really a ton to talk about. They lost to Boston last night. They lost their last
We
2
got
games, but they
Tizzy.
won on an 8-game stretch before that. Man, what are your thoughts on the Sixers so far? Playing pretty well, right?
Uh, Based on what I've seen, bro, they're doing okay. They need a little work. I feel
I'm just
like
gonna step away for 2 seconds.
the
I'm
whole
just gonna let you
situation with
talk. I'm gonna let you talk for
yeah,
2 seconds. I'm just gonna step away for
go ahead. The
literally
whole
like
thing
10
with him.
seconds. I'll be right back. So,
You
what are your
got
thoughts,
it.
bro?
Like I was saying, just the whole talk with them, and I mean, Embiid, I mean, not Embiid, what's his name, Harden leaving, and them trying to, kind of like restructure the team a little bit. I mean, it's looking good. I mean, they've got some wins, but I'm just not very, very convinced because, like, I feel like there's teams out there and they got players that are technically and superior, also like skill wise more gifted than ours. I feel like we have Embiid and we have some big names. You know what I mean? Harris and all that, and we have Maxi, which is an excellent player. But I just think like we need a little more like team chemistry, bro. We need to kind of go out there and make it work in those big games. I mean, our defense can be a little tighter. We lost, James Harden, but it's all good. I mean, he wasn't his way out anyway. He wasn't going to stick around much longer. Like I was telling you earlier, I
Right.
actually had seen him before he left. It's funny because he came to the club the one night, and then I saw him a little bit, but no one saw this guy. But he was like apparently VIP, whatever, doing his thing. Then literally like less than like 2 weeks later, he signs the contract, and he actually leaves. Like, he leaves the whole time. I'm like, I mean, I would have liked to see him stay until like about end of the season, just a one full year. It's like he couldn't have finished the 2 full years here. But we saw what happens here sometimes. I mean, we're known to bring guys towards the end of their careers. They're still a name, but they're slowly leaving their prime. And I think that's what's happening with Harden. I'm not going to say the 12 of his career, but the 12 of his prime. He still probably has another 5 solid years of his career, 6 years, but more like as a older guy now, like an older player, so to speak. Obviously not that old, he's only 34. But I think they're going to rely a lot more on the Embiid and Maxi and the other dynamics in the team and kind of like try to see what we can do with there. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely a couple tough losses lately, but also some decent performances. It's just that I mean I feel like we got to beat a team that's a little bigger. It's a more like one of those teams that always pushes forward, always scores. They got good shooters and all that. And we got to shut them down and do something well in that sense to be like, okay, you know what, this team could actually this time go to like win in all games and go to the very final, and win our conference. Because I mean, even done bad in the last like 2 years, like in the last 2 full seasons, going back to like 2020, it was a rebuild year and all that. But it's just that we're just like we're at a point now where we gotta like our fans expect more, and we have players that are like VP status. I mean, we have guys like Embiid. I mean, we just lost Harden, but we got Maxi and some other big names, and we gotta like I said. Pull through, and I mean, I don't have as much expectations for them this year as the last year, and obviously the
Yeah.
Eagles, but they're a Philly team, and I want to respect them, and I think that the Sixers, in my opinion, are still one of the more gifted teams out there. We have a lot of good players. I mean, the coach is doing his best. I just think like I don't think we should really like shut down on them, be like they ain't gonna do nothing. I just think we should not have a lot of expectations, but the hope is still there because again, they do play well, man. I mean, they play a very nice game, very clean game compared to other teams. They're fouling us and doing petty things. And also, I see a lot of petty calls all the time, but that's just to be expected. That's like we talked about in football. It's always some bullshit calls. It's always, depending where you play, something. Oh, he didn't see this. It was a walk, couple foul, other technical stuff. Fuck up the games or change the whole trajectory of the game, as it can in football, or even in baseball for that matter, in every sport. But in basketball, it's like it's just it's a fast-paced game again, and it's no room for error as much. Obviously, football's a little different because the strategies changed drastically and, more stoppages and all that. But I feel like Embiid, I mean, he's already definitely been in his prime and he's got a couple of good, solid years still in there. I also feel like he wants to win. Remember, talk about this, and I think you guys mentioned it, and I forgot what I heard. It might have been in a sports show that possibly he might want to leave. He doesn't win much. Well, that's always a possibility. We don't want him to leave because he's loyal to the Sixers, but it's like his loyalty. How much can he stay without really winning? Not doing big things. If they don't go to the very NBA, the NBA finals, bro, I can see some stuff. I mean, I know you mentioned it. I know you don't talk about it too much because we don't think of that idea of he's going to leave because he just expressed nothing about leaving, but he's expressed more like he wants to win. It's not about I'm going to leave the team. I'm gonna win. If I can't win here, I got to go somewhere else. But I love you guys. But it's just like he's a friend player too. Got to keep him. We have Harris. I mean, we have some veterans at this point because even if he's a veteran, he's been in the league for a while now. But like I said, man, the frustrations get up, and sometimes that's hates, in my opinion. Locker room divisions, people are not playing well, this and that, conflicts and all that. We've seen it in New York, we've seen it with the Cavaliers, we've seen it everywhere. Here in Philly, I mean, we love Jimmy Butler, which I loved as a player. I would like to have kept him. He got rid of fucking. I was gonna say got somebody else, but Jimmy Butler and Maxey and.
Yeah, regarding the Sixers, like I'm a little shocked that they're playing as well as they have. Like I thought Harden wasn't like great, but obviously he still is a star. But I will say this: Maxey looks phenomenal. The only thing I will say is I don't think he's a tier 1 superstar. A lot of people might not like what I have to say about that, but I don't think he's quite there yet. We saw Maxey had a 50-point game the other night. It was a huge game, but it was 2 games ago, and then the last 2 games he had okay games. And see, I think that's what kind of separates a superstar from like a tier 2 star. I think he's like tier 2. But I don't think he's like a superstar. He's not a Jason Tatum. He's not a Jaylen Brown. He's not like a Jokic, and even Embiid. Like it's it depends. Like I think the Sixers could be a really good team.
These guys and Embiid.
Yeah,
I think he's not a Damian Lillard.
I'll say this though. I think the Sixers are one move away. They still do need to make another move in order.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man? What's going on?
My fault. I had to straight. I had a call. Watson's bets. I was getting some bets. You feel me? Getting some bets for some people.
Nice, man. You have an Instagram page on that, right? Was it Watson Locker?
Yeah, Watson's Locker. If y'all want to just take a look at it and DM if you want to bet $10 bets.
You gotta follow me. I'm gonna follow you. You gotta check me out.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, Watson Locker guys on Instagram, right? Is there a number on it too? Like I'll put it in the thing so people can follow you.
I don't have an actual number for the page. That's a good idea. I'm gonna get one.
The link is
it's just Watson Locker on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram, yeah. So far, I might get a Discord. I'm not sure yet.
Cool.
But
I mean, Watson's Locker. Okay, yeah. I'll put with the S in there. I'm gonna put that in there.
Yeah.
On IG, I'll put that in the comments so people can check it out.
Yeah. I feel like the Sixers is a good team right now. I do want to say some shit. Not mean to curse. I want to say something that like, I feel like it's like time for like a star to emerge, and like, Tobias' dad was talking heavy. Like he was saying, my son could be the star, but could do more on the team, whatever, last year. If your son's that 40-point basketball like superstar, we need to see that now. Shout out to Maxey for hitting his 50-point mark. We definitely needed that.
So Covington too.
Yeah, that. Also, Embiid been balling his ass off. I really like the squad. It'd be cool if we had another like superstar on the team or another player that can score a lot. I really wanted Dame Lillard to play on the Sixers this year. I thought it was going to happen. It didn't. Harden is trash, man.
Yeah, he's wild.
Yeah, I don't know what I was watching this thing. Yeah, I was watching this thing. It's like every team he went to, he had like the best players, and last year he was the key of the team for him to say like, oh, the team's not built around him. They literally built the team around you, and you still didn't do what you were supposed to do. Like so.
Literally, it's Harden. Like everywhere he goes, it just seems like it's a losing recipe every single time he goes somewhere.
Yeah.
Like his best chance he had was in Houston. Unfortunately, he played at Golden State.
Yeah, I feel like Maxi needs to like lock in the
Yeah,
gym
everything's for him.
and like work on his game. Next year he might be a superstar. This year he's developing. So I mean, we're going to see what's going to happen in the next couple of years with that.
Yeah. The good thing is the Sixers don't really need to make any type of move right now. The trade deadline's not till the spring, so like they don't even have to do anything right now. So the Sixers can see what they have in this team and then see who becomes available throughout the year.
Yeah.
As of
You
right
know,
now, what are you saying?
go
Man?
ahead.
I
You
was
know what
gonna
we? You go first. You go first.
I was just gonna say the only superstars I really know that are available right now are kind of like out of Chicago. You got Levine and you have DeRozan. I don't really want DeRozan here because I don't really think he fits. Yeah, I just
I
don't
don't
think
want none of those people. Though I do think that we can do something new that I haven't really seen in the NBA too much. We can go to a lower level and pick up a superstar from there, and we won't. And the budget won't even be that much, and we could get like somebody that could become a superstar,
that's
like
true.
somebody that's playing in like a D league or a different league, or we could scout like somebody that's not even in the NBA, like how they had that movie with Adam Sandler. We can actually bring somebody on our team like that. It's the perfect time. We have the availability to do it. Just saying,
Yeah,
like, I know they're probably not looking at that, but that it'd be a good time to do something like that.
yeah. So people were saying also some other picks that you could get is what was it Bogdan Bogdanovic, which like he's a cool key piece. Like that's the thing, you don't really maybe need a superstar, but you need to add some pieces. I think they need wings that can shoot. You can if you
You know what we can do? This is crazy. I'm just talking on my ass with this one. We could definitely get like Kyrie. I know we probably will never get Kyrie, but if we had Kyrie on our
Well, they
team,
don't
I
want
feel
him
like that might
here, bro. A lot of people don't want.
one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Kyrie is just super talented. The only thing that worries me about Kyrie Irving is just the antics and the stuff. Like he takes games off just for no reason, and it's just like I don't know, man. Like
Yeah, you might be right with that.
yeah, he just like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like he's a cancer to anywhere he goes. The only championship he has is with
I like your
LeBron.
idea.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
it seems like he's kind of similar to Harden a little
He's a
bit.
great
I don't
fucking
think
player,
he's
but
as
I mean,
bad as Harden.
like you
but,
said, he's worse than Harden in terms of like destroying franchises.
yeah.
Harden's pretty much like he's just gotta be his way or no way. I'm like, come on, Beard. I like Harden. I don't want to talk shit about the guy, but it's like, come on.
the fact that they couldn't make it work.
He'll
in
become the next
Brooklyn
no fucking
is
Ben
ridiculous.
Simmons.
Yeah.
Ben Simmons.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
bro. Ben Simmons is still like he makes
Brooklyn
my ticket
situation.
flop. I don't like. It's something wrong with Ben Simmons. Like I'm gonna tell you, if Ben Simmons, if you ever watch this podcast, you're a pussy and a bitch. You gotta man the
He's not
fuck
over
up
there.
and take a shot. You
Yeah,
gotta take a fucking shot, bro. Stop being a pussy. Like you in Philly, bro. We don't care about you losing the fight. We care about you fighting back. You feel me?
that's all we
So
have.
and that's anybody from Philly. Like we don't care
That's
if
it.
you
See?
lose.
That's
We just
what I'm
want you to
talking about.
fight. You feel me?
Yep.
What's
This is a
that?
blue collar city. We just care about you actually giving a shit and like playing
Yeah,
hard.
like
That's what we care about.
you let fans run you out of a city to every other city. They look at you like a bitch. You feel me?
Yeah, and that's the
He
thing.
left his
Ben
stupidity,
Simmons.
bro. Run him out. The dumb,
Yeah.
the unwillingness to cooperate, to not play. That's what
Yeah.
kicks them out, not the fans. Ben Simmons is just.
Yeah. He literally his whole life he had no accountability. His whole camp was his family, like brother-in-laws and stuff, like people that aren't gonna, of course they're gonna be yes men. They're just gonna tell him like, oh yeah, it's all right, Ben, like you can do that. Like there's nobody holding him accountable. He didn't want to work with like some of the tougher shooting coaches because he knew what was gonna happen. He was gonna get held accountable. He had an opportunity to go to Kobe Bryant, before Kobe Bryant, the late great Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. He had a chance to go to his camp the one year that Giannis went to learn how to shoot and stuff, and he didn't go because you know why? His ego and pride. Like he don't want to go there because you know Kobe's not going to have none of that shit. Like he's not going to tolerate like the not putting in the work and stuff. So
I'm gonna tell you this one thing. My last thing. This is a direct message to you, Ben Simmons. Are you a man or a mouse? Like, pick one. But this is the NBA. It's balling for grown folks. Feel me? I'm not just like, and I play ball too, so I'm not scared to check it up. I could shoot. you might get some rebounds and some layups, but if you miss,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
No
the thing,
layups, probably
man.
some dunks, but
It's
just get him out
crazy.
there
yeah.
on a court.
Yeah, Ben
And
just
no one takes accountability, bro. Ben Simmons, he's out. He just doesn't fucking use his talent, so it's his fault, you know.
yeah. Well, that's the
Nothing
thing.
to
That's
do.
why I
Yeah.
really
How
question if
much
he
can he
even
do?
cares about the game. If I'm being honest, I don't think he cares that much about basketball. I think he's just good at it.
I don't.
He's
I
decent
don't
at
know,
it, so
bro.
like he's talented. So like he's got the height
I'm
and the
not.
talent and the ability.
This is how I feel about basketball, man. I feel like if I go to if I ever had a shot at the NBA, I can score. Anybody can score. It's like anybody can make plays. Not all the time. Sometimes like it is a big talent level difference and stuff.
Big one,
But
yeah.
like the basics, like I feel like the way you're playing, like I'm not. You have skill, you have size. You should be able, like your body and makeup, everything. I feel like you should be dominating. But you're like playing scared. You don't want to play. You kind of, I mean,
No,
if
you're
you really
right, bro.
don't want
You're
to play
right.
basketball, do what you want to do, but don't go to the NBA and then people be like, "Oh, this guy doesn't want to play," and you like people run you out the city, or you don't want to perform on the team properly and stuff. Like, cool, you might get 10 assists a
Let somebody
game, but
else
like,
get the chance,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
It's like
If you're
Of
not
course,
there, the ball's still being passed. Like, make a difference on any team
yeah.
you're on. Like,
Of course he's gonna play though, because here's the thing: it's not even about giving him another chance. What's he gonna do? He's gonna soak up his $200 million and then just be out the league and be like, "See ya."
yeah,
Scooped up
you
his money and took a come up and just like Ben
I'm not,
Simmons.
bro.
Yeah, I
That's
don't hate him for that,
understandable.
but just not playing hard for the city, that draft you. The
But
thing is, Ben Simmons got exposed in the playoffs. Like he would always have good seasons, and he would, why Ben always thrived in that full court, like like moving the ball full court, getting the slam dunks, breakaways, and that everybody that watches the NBA understands. If you're an NBA fan, that it becomes a half court game in the playoffs. They take away a lot of that fast break shit in the playoffs, and it makes it a half court set. And Ben Simmons, all they had to do was leave him wide open at the top of the key because Ben wasn't shooting the ball. They knew like Boston exposed them in what was it, 2019, when like we got
Exposed
past that
everything.
first
It's
round
terrible.
against Wade and the
well,
Heat.
he just looked. He just looked. It's like everybody disappeared and he just froze. Like,
Yeah, Brad Stevens and the Celtics exposed his ass. They knew right away from looking at film that he don't shoot the ball, so they literally left him wide open, like outside the key, and they had like just let him like he's not going to do nothing. So Ben would come
man,
driving down, and they would converge on him. He didn't want to shoot foul shots either. He never wanted to get fouled. Like it really became like in his head. He would like kick the
listen,
ball out.
I know a couple players on my YouTube basketball team that can outplay, outscore, and beat Ben Simmons on a one-on-one. And I'll put money to that because I
For real?
know they can dominate him.
Wow.
I'm so serious.
Yeah, the only thing I'd say, like, yeah, then you gotta have some height because he
Yeah,
that's
they're tall. They're tall
yeah,
players. They're out
6'10".
there.
He's 6'10". He's tall.
Yeah, I got Nathan for Big Nate for getting at least 1 point and running him off the court.
They would just
Well,
trash talk him.
Yeah,
They would just trash talk him.
yeah, they would
Ben
just
just
trash him like that.
I got him for one
they probably
rebound, 1
rebound.
point.
Well, the thing is this, like, if Nate had more speed though, yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, it's just about the speed, because remember, Ben Simmons, he kind of like he plays ball like he makes basketball look corny. Yo, stop making the sport look bad, bro. It's not a sport. Stop fucking getting fouled, not shooting, turning your back to the court. How you turn your back? It's like, yo guys, I'm here. No, don't pass me the ball. Pass it to Korkmaz or whoever. I don't want to get the. I mean, like, come on, bro.
You know
Wasn't
what?
shooting,
I took a chance.
Wasn't hustling. Everybody loves a hustling basketball. Guy that goes, gets rebounds, gets layup,
Exactly.
shoots, steals the ball, blocks. Everybody loves a guy like that. You don't gotta be a good shooter. I mean, I used to not be a good shooter when I was younger. I got better with it though. I know plenty of guys that weren't great shooters, but
You don't have to
they
be
got better
great,
with
but you
time.
have to be
It's
willing
like,
to
how
shoot.
can you
You
not
have
do
to
it,
be
bro?
willing to shoot. You have to be willing to shoot,
want to
though. 'Cause
evolve.
if you're not like, yeah, even if you miss, because guess what?
Yeah.
You need people to respect you. Here's the thing: like, they're not going to respect you. Like, they're just going to give you wide open looks
Exactly.
until you shoot the fall because they know,
You
they
know,
don't even got to respect your
you
shot.
know Westbrook, yo. He's like he'll fucking miss a million shots, but he not scared to take an air ball. Like, you feel me? And we joke about it, but at the same time, people still be like, all right, cool, like he's missing and shit, but at the same time, he fuck around and give you 30 any night. You just don't know what
Exactly.
night that could be. So
Exactly.
I mean, they laugh at him and stuff and make jokes about him, but he still can dominate a game. Like that one game could add up to the game that you need to win. You feel me? That could be a playoff game where he might fuck around and have a nice ass game.
Yep, that's facts. Yeah, we have
So
a. No, it's absolute facts. I was gonna say, we Gold Reaper commented and he said, "Great talk, thank you, man." Whoever, appreciate that. Thank you for tuning
no
into the
problem.
channel.
Go Reaper,
Thank you
great
for
talk.
tuning into the
Appreciate it.
channel. Yeah, I also had so thank you, Gold Reaper. We also had I was saying for Locked in Pockets, we commented, check out Watson's Locker on IG for bets and parlays, guys. So check out so Dante, aka King Tizzy, he runs that channel. So you guys can
Yeah.
DM. I'm assuming they can just DM you, right? Like if they want like
Yeah, just DM me. We'll set up a payment process for you, and we'll just send you tickets. $10 for the day, and like three tickets for $10 right now. Special Black Friday's offer. So we're running those things. I haven't posted in a minute. I have to post a
Yo,
update. I'll
guys,
do it
hold
tonight.
on.
What happened?
I know what that is, yo. I don't mean to cut you off, Dante, but Gold Reaper, that's actually a friend of mine. Her name is Shantae. What up, Shantae?
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's her
Okay.
company.
Thank you,
She said
Shantae.
great talk. I just commented it. Okay, that was.
How you doing?
She's a friend of mine from the club. I know her for a while, but yeah, it's my friend. So, Dante, I gotta follow you on IG, bro. If you're on Nate's page, I find you on Nate's page, but I gotta definitely send you a follow.
Yeah,
Okay.
You're on
George.
IG, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on IG. Watson's
Yeah, Nate
Locker.
follows me. I follow Steve, Nate.
Yeah, and you can find him at
No
Tizzy
problem.
Time on
I'll
IG
check
too,
you
is his
out. I'll
personal
check.
page.
Yeah, I'm Tizzy Tom too on IG, man. Just
Oh,
lock
Tizzy. Oh, yeah,
in.
Tizzy time. That's right. That's right.
Yep.
I got you, bro. I'll see you on this page, and then hit me up on my page, and I'll follow your business page too, because me and Steve run the office page, and also another page too. So, all right, no problem.
Okay.
I'll find you. If you see somebody hitting you up, it's just me, GMAC, and then of course the Locked In Podcast. But
I was gonna say,
no,
Tiz, like George works. George
so
works.
heavy, bro. I mean, I know you came a little late, but it's
Yeah, I was gonna say George works at. He was saying the club there. George works over at Delilah's. He like works at night and stuff. Like Delilah's, like the gentleman's club, like downtown.
Oh
He does, like,
yeah,
catering work.
I'll come and check you out.
Harden was there, bro.
I
Harden
haven't
was
been
there
yet.
about 3 weeks ago.
He
Harden
was.
was there.
Come through sometime.
Wait.
Come through, man.
They
Yeah,
they
I
says
told you
they
for the
say
show.
Harden comes and spends his money in clubs and shit and fucks up the game. So
Yeah, one of the former
I don't
Eagles.
get it. So he's obsessed with strip clubs.
yeah,
Bro,
I know.
the guy does not spend on dance. He just throws money to the. He didn't hear this guy. He never came. He never. Oh my god. Tall as shit. Got a big ass beard. Yet nobody could see him. You know why? He was hiding in a. He had the booth, the DJ booth, the really big one they have there, the most private one. Like when Kevin Hart comes in. Like when Will Smith used to go there. Will Smith used to go there back in the day. Who else? Kevin Hart, like Meek and them, or the rapper O'Malley and them. They all get the big suite, like by the DJs, so no one can see them. Because they got 2 suites you can't really see, so I guess Harden's trying to be private. But he knew he was going to leave. He came in right before he left. He came in, and 2 weeks later, he signed a contract to leave Philly to go to LA. So I'm like, wow. Like, acting like he didn't want to be seen. People are talking shit about him. Like, nobody wants to fucking see your ass, man. They were talking shit about him. People there at the club, like traps and workers that work there.
I was gonna say,
nobody cares. Call him a bum. He just came through.
Ben Simmons and James Harden need to be on the same team.
They both are just quitters, so it's like it's different. I was gonna say,
Harden
down
over
there,
Simmons
though,
any day of the week, but I hear you, bro.
George works outside. So George will be at like the door. So if you go down there, at the club, like George will get you through.
Oh
so
yeah.
You work down
I'm at the
Okay.
door, parking lot, the door, one of the door metal. I'm everywhere. Only place I don't be is the rooftop yet. I'm like, God can't put me anywhere here.
Oh, they have a rooftop? I did not know that. Okay.
Nah,
I could
that's the
definitely check it
lounge.
out. I
That's
haven't
the
been there yet.
rooftop.
It's like a little lounge. Yeah.
The steak is
Okay.
good there. The steak, the cigars, the lounge.
I need to
is
try
good.
that
The
too.
club
Yeah.
inside. Nice.
Yeah, man.
I did an Uber with one of the dancers. She told me about the steak. So I gotta try it out.
You knew the dancers?
Nice. George knows probably all of them, so.
Yeah, they're all good, bro. You know, the lot is number one in the city. As a matter of fact, they're showing the games right now. The Thursday night games, the Monday night football. It's just that when you're watching the game as a true fan, you want to hear everything. Like if you're a Sixers or a Phillies or a Eagles fan, but if you watch the game, it's so noisy. You get to watch it. You don't get to hear it. You gotta go to the bathroom or have earphones to plug them into one of the TVs or something. But it's cool, you know. like I said,
I
man,
was,
we'll get there. But let's
I was
focus
gonna
on
Yo,
say
the Suns, and
hey,
I have more hope for the Sixers. But
we got ourselves a good Thursday night game tonight, guys. Too. When I
yeah,
hop on here, I'll probably check it out.
yeah, the game is about to start in a good 9 minutes, man. How y'all feeling about it?
Feeling
You
good,
know what?
Raven.
For the page, I'll give y'all I'll say it. If somebody's following, y'all can log in, and I'm gonna say a ticket for y'all real quick. Let me see. I'm gonna log in.
Cool, cool.
Cool. So you go to. So I feel like Jamar Chase is gonna do something nice tonight. So I got him down for 50 yards. That's just me. That's me being risky. You might not want to put him on a ticket, but I feel like he get 50. I got Mark Andrews for 25. Right now he has 23, so they're probably gonna up that to 40. I have Zay Flowers for 25 yards. Right now he got 33. So might need to up that to 50. I have Joe Mixon for rushing 25 yards. That's just me. Going out on the wing. I got Tyler Boyd going out on the wing again for 25. I got Odell Beckham for 25, even though he might not do it, but just in case he decides to do something, he's not on my main ticket, but that's just like a ticket where I got him up in the air.
Yeah, he had a tutty last week. He had a big play, like a 30-yard play for a touchdown. I was gonna say, I can't believe it's already 7 minutes into the game. It's already 7 off the Ravens.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's Ravens 7, Cincinnati 3, so it's going.
Since he just scored, yeah, they just kicked the field
good
goal.
game. Oh, the Ravens are a good team. I
Yeah,
like the
Jamar
game.
Chase might be a risky one, man, but you know what? A probably
Definitely,
nice
guys.
payout.
Definitely.
Jamar Chase, because Ravens defense is legit, but could be a nice payout.
yeah. I also got both quarterbacks for going under right now. They have them under throwing. It was 255 and 225. 255 for
Joe Burrow.
Lamar, 225 for Joe. Right now, it's if they still have it, it went up to 236 and 244. So I feel like they're balling right now. Lamar got 56, Joe got 11. I going for under. I'm for throwing like too much, but he's so be a good
So
game.
so
Yeah,
check him out, guys. Watson's Locker,
It's
IG
gonna be a
bets
good
and
one for sure,
parlays.
man. I'm
He's
actually gonna
got
check it
a
out.
Black Friday special going on
yeah,
too. Would you say 3 picks for 10?
yeah. 3 for 10, and all the way to
Should be a
December.
good one. Should be a good one.
All the way to December. So we got the Black Friday going. Um, I'll probably wrap up in a few minutes, guys. We've been on for like an hour and a half,
Black
like
Friday.
on here. We talked
Well,
Eagles, we
still a little
talked
late,
Sixers.
but obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah. We had
That's a good
everyone in.
amount.
It's going to be interesting going back to the Birds, Eagles, Chiefs. I have to figure out what the move is Monday night for that game. Um, but it's going to be a hell of a
I
game.
might be off, so I'll come out.
Yeah, for sure. Figure out a spot and go out. I'm definitely probably going to try to go out for that game. It's a big
yeah.
game, man. I'll see if anybody's streaming it at their spot or something, having like a small little watch party or something. So figure it out. It's nice though. I like the games during the week because it breaks up the week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That being said, guys, I think I'm gonna wrap up. Do you guys have
Watch the
anything else
Sunday
to
game.
add before we end here? I do want to thank you, Dante, for coming on, man, aka King Tiz, coming on here and joining with
King
Rich.
Tizzy.
Rich, are you left?
No
Sir.
problem, man.
Rich.
Always
No
appreciate
doubt.
you
We have
coming
some
on,
good
man.
stuff.
I think it's your second
Guys
time
that
on
didn't
here, right?
make it,
Right,
it's
Tiz?
fine.
Yeah, it's my second time.
So we got him
Yeah.
on. Second time on here. So appreciate you coming back on, man, dropping some
Yeah, me
insight.
Tizzy.
Yeah. Yeah, I also have next time y'all
Appreciate
have
it,
a
dog.
podcast, I might have a expert like another expert when it comes to betting. I'm gonna see if he wants to go, hop on. He can really talk sports all day. That's all he does is watch sports, man. Every
That's what's
sport.
up, man.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, sure, man. Yeah, let him know about us, man. And if he wants to come on, just
Do it.
just hit me up, man, and we'll make that work. Because I feel like a lot of people would like that, with like a betting episode. Because a lot of people like sports bets. So
Yeah.
Well,
Um,
sports, they're gonna bet. Betting and sports goes hand to hand. So
Yep.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So we do this for raise awareness.
All right, man.
Yeah, Steve. We could kind
All
of
right,
try
I
down
think
in a
I
few.
think
We
we're about to
appreciate
wrap
you,
up
Tizzy.
here.
Cool.
Yeah, Tiz, appreciate you coming on, brother. Yeah, he just bounced out. I think we can. You good to wrap up here, George?
Yeah, you want to give a shout out to Dan Carnegie for coming last
Dan
week. You see, right? It was
Kanigi,
last week. Yeah, we had Dan. So Coach Dan, aka Dan Carnegie, our guy Dan, who does the martial arts.
Oh, can't hear you, brother. Oh, my bad. Oh, your mic's muted, bro. Yeah, muted. I'm not sure if it's something with the audio. Yeah, I can't unmute you either because it says that you're muted on that. You're muted by choice. Yeah, it says you're muted still. Oh, looks like George went out. I'll hang out for a minute or two because he might try to come back on. Maybe it was something with his audio, but with that being said, guys, I just want you guys to have a great weekend. Last weekend going into Thanksgiving. Go Birds, go Sixers. Eagles is a huge game on Monday, so we'll have to post some stuff. Gee, this stuff's trying to load. All right, I can hear your sound now. I can just hear the background.
Yeah, my bad, bro. Just it froze. It wasn't by choice, by the way. I actually clicked. Sometimes I might, something
Yeah, I
emergency.
figured it was something
That's
with the
its own.
computer.
Sometimes it's just like I I lost signal towards the end, but yeah, I was saying just kind of saying that like Coach Dan with the Rough and Tough promote Dank, clothing line. He's got a clothing line. Rough and Tough promotions. He's got a promotion where we're gonna start organizing some MMA and pancrase matches with some pro wrestling. And remember we talked about we don't want to give you guys too much, but me and Steve will be directly involved. So might be talking about some actual, when things getting or up and organized, then we do a show, actual one of those fight events. We might have a couple announcers, and we might have Steve and myself in suits. So that's what I want to say. So let's be on the lookout for that too. That's until like another probably like 5-6 months from now, but there's some possibility of us doing some commentary and some media work. Since both me and Steve have understandings of this, I mean, obviously I'm into communication, but Steve does podcasting too. He's good on his hands. He can talk. He knows sports. So there's a good part who might be employed a little bit, helping a friend out more than anything. But I'm already involved in this because I'm part of the organization. Steve, you're like kind of like an affiliate in a way. So yeah, I just want to say that. And but yeah, shout out to Dan and also shout out to Rich and Tizzy. And even the guys that couldn't come, it's always our guys anyway. Tom couldn't make it. Marius was not feeling well, and Rich could. Not Rich. Rob couldn't make it either. So we will have guys for the next big episode. And thanks everybody for watching. Really, I mean, it's a lot of people are commentating here.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for commenting in.
D'Angela.
Yeah. Thanks, Todd.
Everybody. I mean.
Todd, D'Angelo, Rob Anderson. We had Shaw. We had
Rob Anderson. That's my boy, Rob. That's my G. We gotta bring Rob one day.
That being said, guys,
we're gonna try, guys, to bring you guys some nice guests for Eagles next month. We have some entertainers that I'm personally friends with that actually make money doing like stuff for the Eagles, kids or videos and all that. So we might have somebody big, coming up. I mean, I just gotta reach out to more people. You know what I mean? But we got friends, like Steve. People just get busy, and it's all about finding the right timing. No one says no because they don't want to come. Let's be clear on this. They say no because staff or just the way life goes. There might be come, something happened. The car broke down. We can't predict the weather, guys, or everything else that goes along. It just kind of happens. But some good episodes, and I'm excited for the next week's one. But today has been a great episode, and again, watching. Salute to everybody watching, and peace be with you. And this has been a presentation of the Locked In podcast, and we are the locked in guys. We're the locked in boys, locked in nation.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend, great night, and we will see you next week for episode 151.